Hello everybody, this is Dean Robinson, SummitCityNoise.com. I'm going to try to do a very quick video about a story that you really should be spending more time with. But I know if I go on too long, I'll lose people's attention. So, we're going to talk about a story written by Michael Patterson. He's the editor over at the Frost Illustrated. Frost Illustrated is the black newspaper in Fort Wayne, Indiana. I don't know if they're still publishing. They started in 1968, but here we are in 2018. Haven't seen a new issue from them in a while. I'm not going to count them out yet, so we'll see if the Frost Illustrated is still out there. Nonetheless, June 19th, 2017, Frost Illustrated publishes a story written by Michael Patterson. The headline is Race or Love Gone Bad. 15-year-old assaulted in what NAACP says is possible hate crime. So what happened, people, is last summer. You know, it's on June 6th. Well, Jason Gardner, a 15-year-old black boy, he's attacked by apparently a group of white boys. Well, why did they attack him? Well, you got to go into the story about Jason Gardner, a 15-year-old black boy who happens to be dating a white girl who lives in the same trailer park in New Haven, Indiana. So the trailer park is Cedar Woods Trailer Park. And so black people, white people living there. And if you're living in a trailer park, you probably don't have a lot of cash. Okay? But nonetheless, black people, white people living there. 15-year-old black Jason Gardner, he's dating a white girl who lives in the complex, in the trailer park. And so they're dating, and then his parents, Jason Gardner's parents, find out that he's dating this white girl. Now, the parents of Jason Gardner, well, they're two black women, Lakysha Gardner and Isolina Ball. They're two black lesbians who are the parents to 15-year-old Jason Gardner. 15-year-old Jason Gardner, a black boy, dating a white girl who we just called Jay. Now that's what she's called in Michael Patterson's story, Jay. She's a white girl who's dating this 15-year-old black boy. But the two moms, the queer black women, the parents to Jason Gardner, well, when they find out that Jason is dating this girl, they talk to her, and the girl says, well, I'm 15 years old. But Gardner and Ball find out that this girl is actually 12 years old. So when they have a 15-year-old boy dating a 12-year-old girl, they don't find that appropriate. So Lakysha Gardner and Isolina Ball, the queer black women, they go to see the parents of the white girl. And the parents, well, it's the Gerber house. It's the Gerbers. So we got the Gerber baby, we're going to call her Jay, 12-year-old white girl. And so Gardner and Ball, the queer black women, they explain, well, it's not appropriate 15-year-old is dating a 12-year-old, so we're going to make them break up. Now, after that meeting, Isolina Ball and Lakysha Gardner, they believe everything's cool between the families, but everything's not really cool because there's some N-word getting thrown around, not Nike, not Nabisco, the other N-word that when people say the N-word, you're supposed to think nigger because that's what they want you to think, but they won't say nigger, so they say the N-word. But apparently, some of the brothers to the Gerber baby, Jay, the 12-year-old white girl, well, they're hurling these racial insults and threatening Jason, okay? While this is going on, well, Jason is not really supposed to be going out that much. He's kind of grounded, but he does get to go out and play some basketball. During one of these incidents, Jason is accosted by the grown man stepfather to Jay, the Gerber baby, and this guy's name is it's Corey Gerbers. Corey Gerbers. Well, he's a grown white man. He apparently, according to Jason Gardner, Corey Gerbers, a grown white man, accosts Jason while he's playing basketball. He yells at him, talks about how he's some sort of bitch-ass nigger for breaking his little girl's heart. Grabbing this kid by the arm, letting him know, yeah, my sons are going to beat you up. Now, what's most telling about this story that Michael Patterson letting you know, well, Corey Gerbers, the white stepfather to the Gerber baby, the 12-year-old white girl, well, Corey Gerbers did not have a problem with Jason Gardner dating his white stepdaughter. He had no problem with it. The problem started when the breakup happened. And Corey Gerbers says, you bitch-ass nigger, you broke my little girl's heart. And so that's why he's grabbing him by the arm, out in public. But Jason is able to wrest himself away from Corey Gerber's, goes home and tells his two black lesbian moms. Now, people, I'm just saying that because in the black community, very Christian, very religious, well, they frown upon homosexuality and lesbian behavior. It's probably why this story didn't get greater traction in the black community in Fort Wayne, because in the black community, almost anywhere, you're going to have a lot of religious figures, your Christian pastors, your Christian, Baptist preachers or whatever. They're the ones who are really going to be socially active. But when you're dealing with lesbians, well, your Christians are not going to come out and support. And so that's why I think it's pertinent to talk about them being lesbians. Nonetheless, Jason goes home, tells his mom that this white man accosted him. Could be assault when he's grabbing him. And so instead of calling the police, Lakysha Gardner and Isolina Ball, well, they and their 17-year-old son, Amani, well, they go over to the Gerbers' house to do their own investigation. And at that point, apparently, Corey Gerber's still talking about this bitch-ass nigger broke my little girl's heart, get the F off my porch. Somehow in the midst of all this, according to the Frost Illustrated report, Corey Gerber's takes a swing at Lakysha Gardner. Lakysha dodges. Corey Gerber's winds up smacking Isolina Ball, who then retaliates and hits him in the face. Okay? So after Isolina Ball hits Corey Gerber's in the face, well, then the ladies and Amani go home. And then they get visited by the New Haven police, who want to know, well, did Amani, the 17-year-old boy, did he hit Corey Gerber's? Amani says no. Well, Isolina Ball says, I'm the one that did it. I'm the one that hit that guy, and here's the tooth mark on my hand. Now, the police did not arrest her, even though she admitted to assaulting a person. The police did not arrest her. The police told the Gardners, stay away from the Gerbers. The police said, look, we told the Gerbers, stay away from the Gardners. Just stay away from one another. Okay, so after that, all this N-word stuff still flying back and forth. There's still animosity between these families. And at one point, apparently Jason allowed to go out and play basketball. And so he's playing basketball with his friend. And his friend tells him, hey, you need to go down by the creek because Jay, the Gerber baby, 12-year-old white girl, she's down there crying. You should go see how she's doing. And so Jason goes down to the creek to see about Jay, but Jay's not there. Instead, there's this L, well, it's Lee Everett Leeser II, 15-year-old white boy, and supposedly some other white boys who jump Jason. They beat him up, they knock him out unconscious. And so when the police arrive, well, the rescue crew has to do this elaborate rescue just to pull this kid up from the creek bank. Okay? And so all that happening, and then you're going to have all this N-word and then this violence among 15-year-olds and whoever else. Well, because of that, Larry Gibbs from the NAACP gets called in by the Gardners to see if we need the Department of Justice to come in and apply some sort of Hate Crime Prevention Act action. And so this comes about, the Gardners going to the NAACP because they don't feel like the New Haven police is acting fast enough to deal with all this. Now, what you're going to find is this incident of this violence happened on June 6th. Well, by December of 2017, well, this Lee Everett Leeser II, 15-year-old white boy, well, he's found guilty of assault. And you have to go to the Journal-Gazette to find that out. The Journal-Gazette, white on black beating leads to verdict of guilty by Matthew LeBlanc, December 16th, 2017. So people, it's going to be just over 6 months later, this kid not only arrested, but found guilty. So Lee Everett Leeser II, who was 15 at the time of the attack, was charged with battery resulting in serious bodily injury, a level 5 felony. He was charged as a juvenile and was found guilty Friday by Allen County Superior Court Magistrate Daniel Pappas in a bench trial. And so this kid was found guilty of this, but we still don't have hate crime charges because there's no hate crime bill in Indiana. Now, what you're going to find is Channel 21, WPTA, ABC, well, they pick up on this story involving the Gardners and the Gerbers and this Hate Crime Prevention Act stuff because it's going to be headline. ABC 21, Fort Wayne family fuming about doomed hate crimes law by Jeff Newmeyer, February 13th, 2018. And so that's when Indiana government, they were pondering this Indiana hate crime prevention law, but they decided against it. They didn't pass it. And so Channel 21 WPTA reporter Jeff Newmeyer talking to Lakysha Gardner, talking to Isolina Ball, and those two women talking about how bummed they are that we don't have a hate crime prevention act in Indiana. But from my experience, just knowing about this hate crime prevention act, well, it's not actually addressing hate. It addresses bias, so you can take hate off. Then you have Crime Prevention Act. Well, the Hate Crime Prevention Act, the federal law enacted in 2009, well, since 2009, there have been many hate crimes. So this Hate Crime Prevention Act that doesn't address hate, it also does not help prevent crime. So then you're just left merely with an act. And so nobody should be necessarily bummed about this Hate Crime Prevention Act or lack thereof in Indiana. I would say that the Hate Crime Prevention Act, the federal legislation, it's great for statistics because it'll let you know, well, black people are the most victimized because they are black in America. And so it's useful to find that out. But in terms of getting a conviction for a violent act or for harassment, Hate Crime Prevention Act isn't really needed. But I'm talking about all this because of this excellent story written by Michael Patterson of The Frost. You can find it online. Frost Illustrated, Race or Love Gone Bad. 15-year-old assaulted in what NAACP says is possible hate crime. But the truth of the matter is, Corey Gerbers, grown white man, he had no problem with a black boy dating his white stepdaughter. Corey Gerbers, the white man, he got angry at this black boy because the black boy broke his little girl's heart. And then that's when the N-word comes out. So people, you tell me, is it race or is it love gone bad?